All right, we are live. Welcome into Championship Sunday.
What's up, boys?
What's up, lads?
What's going on?
Well, how about you start us off, I guess, unfortunately.
Recap of last week.
Well, I think we all know Brees is retiring.
Well, yeah,
love Drew
Glazer
Brees.
said it right before the game started.
I love Drew Brees, but that was actually the worst football I've ever seen him play in my life.
Well, when you're playing with torn fascia, a
I
bad throwing
understand that,
shoulder,
but that was
11 broken
that was
ribs.
horrible. That was horrid.
Well, we didn't know that at the time. His wife came out with the
But this is what scared me because regardless of what happened during the regular season, the two times we played Tampa and we beat them, they when they're healthy and all cylinders going, like they match up perfectly against us. In order to beat the Saints, a perfect example is when a few years ago, I don't know if it was on Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving, we played the Dallas Cowboys and they demolished us. We were favored to win by a lot and they completely demolished us because they had the right personnel to beat the Saints. If you want to beat the Saints and stop the offense, essentially all you need is a good four-man pass rush and you need fast linebackers. If you could take the running backs out of the game, you beat the New Orleans offense.
and man.
So Devin White was flying all over the place. He was containing, Kamara had good runs in the second half.
Dude, Devin White's a problem. So is Winfield.
Devin White was the number one reason why, we stalled out in the second half, and Sean Murphy-Bunting was just all over the place.
Yeah, even Winfield was playing a great game too. So that defense is insane.
They're a fast defense when healthy.
And they switched up to man coverage this time.
Because they knew that Drew Brees had no arm. They knew it was deflated. So
no, it has nothing to do with that. Nobody gets open.
No,
Michael Thomas was playing with how many ligaments torn?
It has a lot to do with that, bro. They knew that Drew wasn't gonna be able to put the ball in the right spot. So
yeah, if they would have,
that's why they had so many turnovers.
If they would have played cover two, that Brees would have destroyed them. But
I'm so happy Jared Cook is gone. I don't have to see him in the Saints uniform anymore.
That was my next question. I was going to say.
Yeah, me and Ryan were talking about this yesterday. There's would you be down for a Zach Ertz?
I'll be down for anybody that's name is not Jared Cook. I'm ready for Adam Troutman to break out next year, but even if we don't sign a tight end, I'm perfectly fine with running out Troutman and Josh Hill blocking.
Perfectly fine with Zach Ertz, though, dude. That would be perfect for your offense.
If he didn't fumble, you could be playing today.
I know, because we were that drive, we were rolling.
You were up 3, and then obviously he got the big third down catch, and you're like, oh, great. And then next thing you know,
but he always does this. Whenever Jared Cook fumbles, it's always trying to get yards after the catch. Just go down. You have the first down.
It was a good play by Winfield, but Jared Cook shouldn't have been holding it out like a loaf of bread, which he was.
But he always does that.
So
then on Drew Brees' last interception, it's because Jared Cook, tried catching it with his forearm instead of his hands
or whatever.
And
he was over though at that point, but. Yeah, it was a weird game because Deontay Harris started off, and I was like, "Oh, this is it! We got the big start, the big return, and then he did it again.
He got called back.
Yeah, his touchdown. I was like, "Holy shit, this guy's amazing! This is Devin Hester." And then he got hurt actually on a screen pass.
Yeah. He wasn't, but he wasn't playing 100% either.
Yeah,
we just rushed everybody back for this game.
Yeah, and Kamara was good. It was a shame that it happened like that. I think I would have rather Brees to lose in a shootout instead of. And let your defense get the fault, but the way your defense played, man, that was championship football. They only allowed I know they scored 30, but 17 of the points came off of turnovers.
I know.
So Saints defense was amazing. Special teams, it was just a letdown.
That's why going into this 3:00 game today, I'm picking the Green Bay Packers because Aaron Rodgers is not going to. I don't think he's going to turn the ball over at all, let alone 3 times, not including a player fumbling. So 4 turnovers. It's just not going to happen. Huh?
I heard that the right way. So you're choosing the Packers 100%?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Why? Just because
I've been fighting on
this. This is a great comeback story.
I know it's a great comeback story, but I've just been battling on this game because they're 2 great teams.
And Tampa Bay blew them out last time they played again. That was the
No, that's not going to happen again. That's not happening again.
And this time,
absolutely not. This is going to be probably the better game in the week, to be honest.
If you could contain, a hurt Michael Thomas, you're not containing a healthy Devontae Adams. You're not stopping. Their run defense is still, I think, the weakness right now. Well, Vita Vea is coming back, so that's going to help them.
Yeah, but I still think they got Vita Vea back. That's huge.
I don't know.
I still think Aaron Jones is going to be able to do damage, though. And let's not forget that
it's snowing, though.
Exactly. Let's not forget that they're not playing in a dome. They're not playing in warm Tampa Bay.
Tom Brady played in New England for how many years, dude?
No, but the rest of the haven't.
He knows what it is. Yeah, I understand that, but I don't know. I have faith.
I think. When was the last time Tom Brady played in the cold game? When they played Tennessee and got beat down.
Tom Brady's pretty good. I think there's like a stat that came out this morning. He's like 61-9 in like freezing cold temperature games.
Look, and the Saints defense is way better than the Packers defense, but the Packers defense have really picked it up the past month of football. So all you have to do, honestly, is Antonio Brown playing?
No,
he's out.
That's not even a problem though.
Antonio Winfield is questionable. He got hurt in practice. He's a game time decision right now.
Okay, well look,
Antoine Winfield.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They need him. Yeah, they need him.
Yeah, they need him. He's been elite all year. Him and Devin White have been like the focal points of that defense.
Well, again, and it's all speed.
Yeah.
That's what their best asset is, their speed.
You know what's crazy? Winfield, that wasn't even like projected as the best safety of the class, and like he's just showed that he is.
He was my favorite one, man. I said it was a steal when they got him at the time.
The only reason why people doubted him was because of his height.
People were like really high on Xavier McKinney.
Somebody taller.
I hate that because like I know that's true, Peter, but it's like we've seen what Tyrann Matthew does. There's like
no, I know. I'm just saying like his draft style. That's why he wasn't,
it's just dumb when we have like good examples in the league already, and then they still like Buda Baker, man, this year. Tyrann Mathieu for like the past couple of years. It's like there was no need for him to fall. But I'm with you, Peter. I'm actually taking the Packers too. I feel completely different about this because every time the Packers have gone into the championship game, the last few times they did against the Niners and against the Falcons when they were the Matt Ryan MVP year, I always felt like the Packers were the clear underdogs in those games. Like the other teams it was just their year. The other teams, that's just how it was. And this is the first time Aaron Rodgers gets to host a championship game in Lambeau. So I know Tampa blew them out earlier in the season, but it's in Green Bay this time. It's going to be a close game either way. I know it, but this Packers team just feels like it's destined for the Super Bowl. Just that, the way they're playing. Rodgers is clearly enjoying himself out there. He was, laughing at the Rams safety last week. If you caught it before the Lazard long touchdown, Aaron Jones playing really well. Their offensive line really held up well last week. I know Aaron Donald was clearly injured and didn't play for like half the game, but the Rams still have a good defensive line. It was no issues last week against probably the number one defense. They were ranked number one, the Rams, and the Packers had no issues. No, I actually don't think it's that cold today in Lambeau. I think it's like 25 degrees, and the snow was last night, so I don't think the field's going to be like snow. It's going to be cold, but it's not too bad. That's the best case scenario for Tampa, honestly, because if they would have played yesterday, it was like close to 5 degrees in snow. But I'm still going Green Bay. I'm going to go like 26-23 Packers. Like I think Tom's going to play well. I'm not really worried about that, but it's like the rest I do have questions for the rest of the Bucs besides Gronkowski and Brady, who have completely, played in snow their whole basically career in the cold weather.
Well, don't you think I wouldn't even say Tom Brady's going to have a great game. What did he show us last week that was great? The only thing he did well was take advantage of turnovers that put him in prime field position.
No, I know, but the Saints I think the Saints have a better defense and the secondary.
I'd like to think we do, but
you guys 100% do.
They 100% do because the Packers have.
Let's not pretend that Tampa Bay didn't move the ball all game until the fourth quarter.
No, I know, but like I trust like Brady made the throw to Scotty Miller like when it mattered, like a crucial throw. Like I know I was in the dome, but I still trust Brady to have the offense at least because the Tampa Bay's offensive line, they were rolling last week. The run game was really good. Like they were rushing for 4 or 5 yards apiece with Fournette and Ronald Jones. So
yeah, I know that's another thing that killed us. The Saints, known for their great run defense. Like whenever we go into a game, the last thing I'm worried about is the other team running down our throat. And even though it was like check downs and stuff like that, they were still the running backs were moving the ball for them. That was their only source of offense. All the receivers were locked up.
And that's what Brady's good at.
That's why I thought the Bucs can at least. I think that's why they're going to be at least successful today. I expect that to happen again today.
Look, I don't think they're not going to score any points, but I'm confident in Green Bay's offense and their defense in the past month to hold up.
No, so do I. That's why I'm picking them. I will say though, just in defense, I think you're picking the Bucs, right, Markella? Carlton Davis and Sean, what's his name? Murphy, whatever. They did a good job on Adams last time. They held him, I think, to a season lowest when they played. I know Adams coming off an injury at that point, but I don't know. The Bucs DB seem to be annoying for people whenever they're in man coverage. So
I don't think they're going to try and slow him down today. I think they're just going to play like a bend, don't break kind of defense. You know what I mean? Like they'll let him get his targets, let him get his yards, but they're just going to try and like limit him because you're not stopping Devontae Adams. It's just not going to happen.
Isn't Green Bay number 1 in the NFL in red zone offense?
Yeah,
that's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, we'll see, dude. They I don't know, that defense played like stellar last week. That was like the best I've seen them play all season. So getting back Vita Vea, I'm a little concerned though that Ryan said Winfield is questionable right now.
Vita Vea is playing. Like if he does, it's going to be very limited. Like I think that's more of a Super Bowl.
No, he's playing. I think.
Yeah, something else to point out.
He's not
something else to point out.
He's not playing a full like amount of snaps. There's no way. Like this is a move. Like he might play today a little bit, like 20% of the snaps, but Vita Vea was a move for the Super Bowl just to get him ready if they make it.
Look, a good point to point out is when they played the Saints last week, the Bucs, they were putting everybody in the box. They had nobody watching over deep because I don't think Drew Brees attempted a pass of more than 20 air yards, like not even an attempt. So, besides that Jameis Winston touchdown pass, but
future.
Yeah, I know. But you're not going to have to worry about with Drew Brees. They had everybody in the box and you didn't have to worry about getting beat deep. With Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to have that luxury because they'll toss it over your head, 10 times out of 10
with ease.
Yeah, so you have to play him honest.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You can't just.
I don't know. I have it being a really, really close game, and I think it's just going to come down to like whoever has that ball last. But I'm just going to take the Bucs for now. I could switch this pick in like half an hour.
Okay, I'm pretty confident in Green Bay.
I like it. Yeah, I'm sticking with Green Bay too. It wouldn't shock me though if the Bucs did win. I don't think there's like a clear.
No, look, we're in the conference championship games. It wouldn't shock me if any team won for either game.
Yeah, let's go on to our next game. Bills at Chiefs. I'll start here. I'm picking the Bills, and I was picking the Bills before Mahomes got hurt last week. And obviously, we now know I think he has turf toe, and he's cleared off the concussion, but he's coming off that. The Bills I think the Bills are the hotter team. I think the Bills have been the better team for the last month or two, even going back to the NFL season. Would it shock me if the Chiefs win? Absolutely not, because Mahomes in this offense can really get going any game. And even before he got hurt, like they were gonna beat the Browns pretty good because the Browns defense stinks. But it feels like the Bills defense has gotten a lot better since like the midway point during the season. Like they clearly, even their weaknesses, right? They always seem to like have a good game plan. Like against the Ravens, they knew the Ravens were going to run the ball. The Bills, everyone thought, the Bills' weakness is run defense. And then what do? They did a better job than Tennessee did. They shut down Baltimore to 3 points. And I know Lamar got hurt, but that was like after that pick six, the game was over. So Bills defense really came to play. That's not going to happen today. There's no way they're holding the Chiefs to 3 points. This is obviously going to be a high scoring game. The Bills last time let Clyde Edwards-Helaire run all over them. He's also back today. So the Bills they'll do a better job on Clyde, but they're going to obviously have to stop Kelsey and Hill, which is a lot easier said than done. It won't happen, but I don't know why. I just have a good feeling that the Bills offense is going to come alive today. And I feel like it's going to be a high scoring game, but I'm going to go Bills like 36 to like 33, or like 36-32.
So you're just edging out.
Bills I agree with you on this completely. I think Le'Veon Bell's also out today too for the Chiefs. And then I think Helaire is playing with that hip issue. So I don't know. Look, no matter what, that offense is always going to put up the points, but I just think the Bills are like the more complete and definitely the hotter team. And when was the last time they even lost? Like week 6 or 7 or something like that?
It was the Kyler Murray, the Hail Murray.
Yeah. So this team is, just been on a roll. Like maybe, you could say they're due for a loss, but I just don't see it happening the way that Josh Allen's been putting everything together this season. Defense definitely has been a little lackluster, though, but you could say that about both teams. I feel like Kansas City definitely hasn't been playing.
Chiefs defense this year.
Yeah, what I mean? Like, so it's going to be a crazy game. But I'm also really concerned about Pat Mahomes. Like that turf toe thing you were saying, I think that's really going to hinder him a lot. Like I know a lot of players that who had it last year? Devontae Adams couldn't play like multiple weeks because of it. So we'll see how that affects him.
It just might take away some of his, like, the way he scrambles. Like,
Scrambling ability, yeah.
He'll still be able to scramble a little bit because he did last week before the concussion, but coming off concussion too, like, he might not want to scramble as much. That limits.
Dude, I know 100% they only cleared him because it's Patrick Mahomes. That's any other player
playing today.
Yeah, dude, that's like any other player in the league. It's not happening. I don't care who it is. So Bills Mafia, baby.
So I do think that this is the best case scenario for the Buffalo Bills and the Bills fans. You're running into the Kansas City Chiefs. This was, my AFC Championship prediction from preseason, like before the season even started. So I'm happy that was actually true. I thought it would be, the Saints on the other side, but I got one thing right. Patty's not 100%. We know that with a multitude of things. Like you said, Markel, if it was anybody besides Patrick Mahomes, they wouldn't be playing on Sunday. The NFL just wants their ratings and the chance and all that. The toe injury you already saw, like in last week's game against Cleveland, I was hindering him from then. He was throwing off his back foot a lot, and so it's going to be a lot of that. It doesn't just go away in a week, especially when you continue to play on it. So this is best case scenario for the Bills. I'm not confident in this pick because if there's going to be an upset this week, I think there's more of a better chance for the Bills to beat the Chiefs than the Bucs to beat the Packers. But this is like the prime Tom Brady effect where if 15 is on the field and throwing a football, I'm picking the Chiefs. But I won't be surprised if the Bills find a way to win. They're healthier, they're hotter. Like you said, the last time they lost was the Hail Mary throw. They haven't lost since. They always find a way to win games this season. That could easily be the case tonight. But as long as 15's playing, I'm putting my money on him. I'm not betting against him, regardless of what injury. If he's playing, if he's throwing a football, I'm picking the Chiefs.
I can respect that because you also have Andy Reid, man. That play call last week, I loved it. That game. Like the Chiefs are basically, it's only been 1 year. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl last year, but just the way Mahomes has that effect, it is like the Tom Brady effect, where you can't win the Super Bowl, or you can't win the Super Bowl without beating the Chiefs. Like they're the top dog. So the Bills are gonna have to take care of business.
And I actually think it's better off that I think Le'Veon hurts this offense.
He does. He's not effective at all in this offense.
I'd take Clyde at 70% than Le'Veon at 100.
The last loss before the Hail Mary situation that the Bills had was to the Chiefs.
Okay. What week was that, 6 or 7?
I'll tell you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. So
week 6, and then they lost on the home
teams. They're both different teams now.
Yeah, dude. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I remember, had like a crazy game that day.
We'll see if the Bills are up for the task, though, because there is something about, like, obviously they've been amazing this year. They won 2 playoff games, but the Bills' offense hasn't been that great in either game. Like, Josh Allen was really good against the Colts, but even last week, I know the Ravens have a great defense, but it wasn't like – I thought the Bills' offense could have done a little bit more. But I'm not really worried about that against the Chiefs. It just, like – it's like the mentality. Like, how are the Bills going to come out? You can't not come out flat today. I hope they weren't satisfied with where they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, they made it the championship game. Hopefully they don't feel like, oh, this is a feel-good story. We made it, no one thought we were going to be here. I seen a couple, the Buffalo Bills tweeted is like Buffalo against the world. Like, that's the mindset they should go into. No one's giving us a chance. Even though I think people are giving Buffalo a chance, but they should just go in like as like we're gonna kill the Chiefs. We're gonna upset the Chiefs and just like stick with that. And don't let your foot off the gas, especially against the Chiefs. I don't care if you're up like 14 points. Just don't give Mahomes.
Keep scoring.
Yeah. Don't let Mahomes and this offense come back because they will.
Well, look, if you want to beat the Chiefs, though, you need to have a sound running game. You need to be able to kill time and keep the ball out of, the Kansas City offense's hands. And
good thing Josh Allen could do it all.
Josh Allen's going to have to be their primary running back if they're going to win today.
He is. He's been all season. So
no, I know. But
the Bills didn't even attempt a run in the first half. It was only Josh Allen last week. I think he had like one run.
Because their running backs are just ineffective.
Well, Zach Moss is out, and Devin Singletary's cheeks. So,
but if you need to run the ball, if you're going to beat the Chiefs,
they do need to run the ball a little bit more today. Definitely, because you want to take as much clock as you can. Obviously,
yeah,
man. Give Josh Allen some read options, some QB draws, whatever you got to do.
Yeah. So, but I'm going Chiefs. You two Bills.
Yeah.
Again, if there's going to be an upset, I think that's going to be the upset to happen this weekend.
I will say, out of the 40 games, there's always like an outlier team or like a team that has like a good story, like Tennessee, last year, Jacksonville a few years ago, like teams you didn't really expect when kind of with like okay quarterbacks or like a little bit above average. I will say I think that the last 4 teams have like 4 of the 5 best quarterbacks this season, which is kind of rare.
Yeah.
Usually just does not end up that way. So I think we're in for a good day of football.
And then what would have been the Pro Bowl next week?
Aren't they doing like Madden games for that?
Just a roster, right?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, I think they might be playing Madden.
Some kind of Madden tournament.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
I didn't
even watch the actual Pro Bowl anymore. So definitely.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl always sucks. Like it's not like the NBA All-Star game where it's like fun and like interesting. It's just like the Pro Bowl.
But at that point, it's like, okay, we only have the Super Bowl, then I have to go like 8 months without football.
Bad time, man. Everyone's amped up for the Super Bowl. I don't care.
No, you don't got to go 8 months without football, dude. Don't forget about the combine that we're losing this year. All the pro days you get to watch.
Nothing.
No combine. The pro days are like, you guys see, it's limited to like 5 people.
Like yeah, I know, but it's always exciting. Like I remember last year with Tua's pro day because the question with his hip and his ankle and all that. When the film came out of his pro day, it was like crazy hype.
It's weird, man. I'm stunned. Like this, actually, the Senior Bowl is the only thing that's happening, and it's this upcoming week. And obviously, that's only for the seniors who are coming out, but it's still a pretty big roster. That's exciting. So I'm still stunned that they didn't like have like a 14-day quarantine, I guess, before the combine in Indy. And like have, I guess if they wanted to extend it to like 7 days instead of 4, they could have done something like that. Like instead of canceling the entire thing, because we're still playing games, obviously. Like we're in the playoffs. College football season ended up happening. It was shortened, but it happened. So I'm stunned that they, canceled the entire combine. But
so before we end the episode, do we want to talk some Deshaun Watson trade rumors?
Well, let's start.
I mean, look, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna either be the Jets or the Dolphins at this point. Like,
well, those are his 2 preferred teams.
Yeah, so it's just gonna happen. Like, so.
I just hope Douglas pulls the trigger.
Yeah,
because so far his MO has been gather picks rather than send them all away. But if you think about it, so you would send obviously the second pick, you would send probably Seattle's pick this year and then future picks. But there's no point in trying to forget Darnold. I don't even know why I still see Sam Darnold as a possible option on Twitter. And so I don't get the people who think that. But you draft either Justin Fields or Zach Wilson at 2, and you hope and pray that he's anything close to what Watson is. When there's a top 5 quarterback available and he wants to go to your team, just give up pick 2 because you're hoping pick 2 turns into Watson anyway. Get the sure thing, get the for sure top 5 quarterback. Because I promise you, it's going to be like let's call it the Jamal Adams trade, where it's like, oh, but he's such an impact on our defense, blah blah blah. Obviously, quarterback, safety, 2 different things. But once he's gone, you don't really miss him. You're like, I'd rather have the picks at that point. And then with Watson, it's going to be I'm much happier with having Deshaun Watson as my quarterback rather than having 3 or 4 picks.
Look, bro, they're going to get a boatload of picks for Watson, so and it's pretty much done.
I'm fine with it. With it. The Jets aren't as far away as people think. They're not a roster like Jacksonville or Houston or Detroit. Like they're a better roster than that. Coaching has been their main issue.
We're a better roster than those 3 teams.
Yeah,
the hype would be unreal if the Jets landed Watson, like straight off the bat. Like people will be saying the Jets are making the 7th seed right away.
Because what has been the Jets' problem since 2015? It's their offense.
Since the franchise started, we haven't had a quarterback since like Joe Namath.
No, I know, but when was the last time you had a good offensive football season? When you had Ryan Fitzpatrick, Brandon Marshall, and Eric Decker.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick has thrown the most touchdowns in our history of like the Jets. I think he threw like 31 or 33. It's like pathetic. Like half the NFL is throwing over 30 touchdowns a year for their quarterback.
The Eagles just hired Nick Sirianni as their head coach.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But Houston's the only team left. Those 2 teams though were like, they were just hiring like. Because Brian Dable, obviously, when he didn't get the Chargers job, he just declined, I think, both those interviews because those are like the 2 worst places they could have ended up as like a head coaching candidate. Houston apparently interviewed Josh McCown over the weekend. I don't know if that was like a serious thing, but they're gonna end up with like Leslie Frazier, the Bills defense coordinator, or maybe they hire Eric Bieniemy because like Peter, I don't think Deshaun Watson's completely out of Houston yet. That's why for the first week or two I really didn't try to buy into it, the whole Deshaun Watson thing. But now I'm totally sold. I want the Jets to go do it now.
Well, look, he couldn't just outright demand a trade because, he's not stupid. His agent is stupid. If they demand a trade, they know that gives, Houston leverage where it's like, okay, like we want a shit ton of picks and all this stuff. But if it's kind of hinting and everybody basically knows it, but he hasn't officially said anything, there's hopes that whatever team trades for him doesn't have to give up as much.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'm comfortable giving up 3 first-round picks. However you want to. I know, Peter, you said that our 2 firsts this year, which obviously one Seattle's. I'm good with that, and then giving up a first next year. Or if we give up a first, second overall this year, first next year, and then the first in 2023, I'm also good with doing that. Plus, whatever mid-round picks or a player or two, whatever it needs. Even if they want Darnold, throw him in there too. Really, whatever it takes after that. But we'll see what happens. I think he'll end up, if he does get traded, I don't think it's going to be the Jets. I'll say that now. As much hype and as much as I want it to happen. And I also don't think it's going to be the Dolphins, which is going to be like a big surprise here. I think he gets traded to the NFC. I'm not sure what team would pull the trigger. Like I feel like Washington might, or like Carolina. But I honestly think Miami sticks with Tua, regardless of what's going on around the league, because a lot of their hires are clearly indicating that they believe in him. I was talking to Markel I was telling Markel about this yesterday. Their quarterback coach who they hired yesterday is someone Tua worked with out of high school and like that all-star competition. And apparently they have a really good tight bond. So if you check out Dolphins Twitter right now, a lot of Dolphins Twitter actually wants to keep Tua. So, I mean, it's just a quarterback's coach, but sometimes you have to read between the lines.
I just hope, because I don't think I think the Johnsons are taking a step back and just letting Joe Douglas do his thing at this point. And again, my worry is him not pulling the trigger because he's been known right now, accumulate draft picks, trade down, in the actual draft itself, get more picks, use those picks, execute on the picks.
I'm okay with the route if that's the route. You can't let him go to the Dolphins. That's my only thing. Like if he goes to if you don't want to give up the picks, right? Well, let's see what Houston wants first, because if it's more than 4 first-round picks, I'm not really interested anymore.
No shot.
Yeah, so that's where they
at some point, though, Houston's not going to have all the leverage in the world. Like, at some point, Watson has to come out and say, Houston, I'm not putting on your uniform ever again. So get whatever picks you could get, because I'm not going to be on the field.
I wish this would happen during or before like the beginning of free agency, only because like so much relies on Deshaun Watson, luckily he's only $10 million for whatever team gets him for this year. But like so much, I guess, of like a building around a certain quarterback relies on like what you want to do in free agency, or even some, because like we'll bring it up now because like Stafford is the one who's like already official. Him and the Lions have agreed to part ways. He's going to be traded. I think he's gonna be traded like in the next 3 weeks. I think it's gonna be a lot way before Deshaun Watson gets traded. So I know we talked about Watson, but where do you think Stafford ends up?
Look, I was talking to a friend about this, and he's bigger on Stafford. He's also a Saints fan. He's bigger on Stafford coming to the Saints. He'll be ecstatic, and I'll be happy too.
Stafford's obviously his contract for the next 2 years.
I know. The only issue I have with Matthew Stafford, I know it's not his fault because his whole career has been with a bad organization, bad coaching, bad players around him. But I would have liked to see more winning. I want you to at least win a playoff game, show that you know how to win. Granted, I know it's not all of his fault, but it still bothers me, and his injury concern bothers me.
I will say he does play like through them all, basically, almost.
But it's not about playing through them all. It's about being brittle, being available. You know what I mean? Like, granted, if he comes to the Saints, our offensive line, basically every aspect, every position on our roster is better than Detroit. So he'll be well protected, better weapons, consistency all around him. But, I would be cautiously optimistic, but I would not be against it at all. Like, I won't be sad if we trade for Stafford. I'll be happy.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't even worry about the wins because the Lions have been a worse organization than the Jets. They've been a bottom 3. They wasted Megatron's career, wasted Barry Sanders, and completely wasted Stafford's. I think Stafford's been a top 10 quarterback for most of his career, just completely wasted. I'm glad now that it's not like toward the end of him. I think he has a 3-4 year like a good window of play left, whether he gets traded to the Saints. I don't think it's gonna be the Saints. I think they're gonna stick with Winston.
And I think it might be Washington.
I think Washington's a really good team for him. Apparently, the new Washington GM is the guy who drafted Stafford in 2009. So that's like a little.
There you go.
Yeah, little connection there. The Colts are a team that makes complete sense after Rivers retired. They're a contender right away. If they got Stafford, they might be, second or third best team or favorite in the AFC. And there's a few other teams in there. 49ers. I think Kyle Shanahan's done with Garoppolo. I think he wants a different quarterback. Maybe they draft a rookie, but I think the Niners make sense. They have a bunch of third-round picks too from letting go of Saleh, the Jets, and one of their front office people also left. So I believe they have like multiple third-round picks. But I think it's gonna take like a first and third for Stafford.
So yeah, I could agree with that.
It'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
I just wish there was more so with Watson, we know like the more likely teams, it's like Jets, Dolphins. That was his preferred things. I wish something came out. Granted, it's pretty recent, the Stafford news, but I wish there was like more hints because right now, my Twitter's biased. I see a lot of Saints stuff, so it's all the Saints saying, bring him here, he's going to come here, blah blah blah. But I want like an unbiased kind of teams in the mix that are serious about offering for Stafford.
Patriots are probably in there too. I don't know if he'd want to go there, considering their weapons, but.
Patriots is probably a dark horse for every QB candidate
does he even have a say?
Well, no. It seems like no. I think he does, or somewhat of a say. I guess depending on if the compensation is close between all the teams, because it seems like they parted in like good ways, but they kind of both agreed to it.
Yeah, they said it was mutual.
Like it's best for both parties. So I'd say as long as the trade packages are all really close, maybe they asked him where he would prefer.
Yeah, like you said, the trade packages are close, but if one team is offering way more than the other, I don't think it really matters.
Because the Lions have it clear. They already said their plan. They want to take whatever they get for Stafford and pick 7 and move up in this draft to either pick 2 or 3.
So they want to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, they're getting a new guy in here. So whether they trade with we'll say the Jets, Texans, or Dolphins, because if whatever happens with Watson, he's probably most likely to end up with the Jets or Dolphins. Even though it would be funny if he ends up in the Panthers or something. Like I feel like this always happens with like super hyped up like trade candidates or like someone who's like going to be traded. Like everyone always mentions like the favorites, and then how likely does that ever happen?
Yeah, it's usually never.
Usually never. So,
but this happens to the Jets a lot.
Yeah, but the Jets. We don't know. This sounds hilarious, but Peter, something you hinted at. I don't even know if the Jets are clearly interested in this.
I just think Douglas's personality. It doesn't seem like a move that he would make. If Woody Johnson was still calling the shots, I'd be more optimistic.
Woody's still gone, so there is hope. Like Woody might just come back from England. And say,
no, I know, but I thought the whole point of the Douglas hire and like the way they've been handling stuff was with the new hires and stuff.
They changed the entire structure.
This is all Joe Douglas.
Yeah, I will say this is a really unique opportunity. This has never happened in NFL history. 25-year-old quarterback, top 5
in the league.
Yeah,
maybe even top 3.
The way he played,
you guys think?
You could argue it, Peter. He was fantastic this year. So it is a unique opportunity. And if the Jets didn't trade Jamal Adams, if we didn't have this additional capital, I wouldn't do it. But we are in this unique opportunity where we have cap space, the picks, and we have a starving fan base. That we'll put it at that. Whatever we do this offseason, you guys know my plan. I see a lot of Jet fans want him back. No Sam Darnold. I'll take Matthew Stafford over him. Like I'm done with him. Just give us something exciting. I'm not watching another year of Darnold. It doesn't make sense financially. I'm not guaranteeing him the 5th-year option. It's $25 million guaranteed in 2022. Why would you do that? Even if he improves
Watson's only going to be $10 more million.
Yeah, Watson, or give me Wilson or Fields and start over.
No, but the thing is, you're going to draft Wilson or Fields, and you're just going to hope they turn into what Watson already is.
No, I'm just making the argument why people want. I'm not making an argument. I want Darnold gone, but
I know. But you know what's weird too? Everybody wanted Darnold gone until Saleh came and Mike LaFleur.
Yeah,
they could turn him around and
be better in this offense. I think we could have hired anybody, and Darnold would be better in a non-Gase offense. But like, what is the limit? Like, it's not high anymore. Like, the potential's gone. Everyone keeps saying the potential. He's 23 years old. He's played 3 years in the league. Like, what quarterback has ever gone from from terrible to elite in like after 3 years of playing in the NFL. It hasn't happened.
And he's only gone down.
If you see the list of quarterbacks he's listed with, in terms of like stats, all of it, like passer rating, just like yards per attempt, it's like Jake Locker, like Brandon Weeden. It's all a bunch of bust and terrible quarterbacks.
And it's not his fault. And I think that's what people cling on to because they know it wasn't Darnold's fault. But that doesn't mean it ran its course.
He sucks.
But look, it doesn't mean that he can't be effective over time somewhere else. Like if he goes to Pittsburgh, let's say, and they build around him, maybe they don't have to. Maybe he doesn't start right away.
And Jimmy Garoppolo's a below average quarterback at best. Jimmy Garoppolo, the Niners didn't win the Super Bowl last year because of Jimmy Garoppolo. Everything went right for them. The entire team was stacked. They had a great play calling, great defense, great run game, and Garoppolo couldn't make throws in the Super Bowl in the biggest game. If that's what you want to get stuck with and build a perfect roster. And then, that their window's already done, the Niners. They're never going to win the Super Bowl with Garoppolo as quarterback. So
look, I do think Darnold would like hypothetically, if he stays as the starting quarterback this year for the Jets, I think he will be better than what he's shown. But
so
Darnold's ceiling now, his potential, whatever the potential is left, it's going to be what? At most 9 wins in the regular season. That's his ceiling.
Yeah. And
you want a Super Bowl quarterback in the building. That's that's every NFL team's goal. Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust. I'm not playing for 9 wins. I'm not playing for 10. I'm not just playing for division titles. I want to go all the way.
Yeah.
Do you think Atlanta would entertain a trade for Stafford? Like Matt Ryan, pick 4 for Stafford, and
I think Matt Ryan's staying this year.
They can't get him physically. His cap, they can't trade him. They can't cut him. So he's staying another year.
I don't know. I hope they pull. And I remember in that draft, what was it 2017, the Watson draft?
Yeah, Peter, you were all in on him. So
I was at Ryan's living room, and everybody was screaming, Jamal Adams. I'm like, this has to be Deshaun Watson. The Jets have to take Watson.
I was really high on Hooker that year, and he completely phased out.
But you know what's crazy? I'm not even like dwelling on the past like that, because if you would have taken Watson, it would have been like, as great as he is, it would be the same situation now. And that's in Houston.
He might not even
would have gotten tired
right now.
He would have gotten tired of everything around him. He would have been demanding a trade away from the Jets. Yeah. So I think everything happens for a reason. I think now that you have Saleh in the building, you have Joe Douglas, you're gonna have a competent offensive coordinator. Bring Watson in now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really hope they do it, man, because I'm not rolling with Sam Darnold anymore. I'm just not. So.
But look, and I was excited about the possibility of drafting either Fields or Wilson. I was excited for Trevor until the
I'm so excited for that. I'm good with either path. Just not Darnold. There's no answer for me. If the Jets do not take a quarterback this year, whether they get Watson, whether they draft Fields or Wilson, I will lose faith in Joe Douglas. I will. Because here's my question for you, Peter, before we end, because I don't want to keep going on about the Jets, but say the Jets go out this year with Darnold, right, and they win, 5 to 7 games because the team improved. They signed some free agents. They had a good draft. We'll say if they keep Darnold, the plan isn't to be to trade down, right? And I get it, but eventually it's like we already have a lot of capital, right? And I know they want to build out a roster like the Colts, I guess. Maybe that's their plan. But it's like, okay, next year we have another 2 first-round picks. If the Jets win 5 to 7 games, we're not picking in the top 5. Why would I trade a first-round pick next year to move up in the draft when I have the 2nd overall pick this year? It makes no sense.
I don't know what's so hard to comprehend as an NFL GM. If you have the opportunity to get a top 5 quarterback on your roster, possibly even top 3 in his prime, if Watson gets traded to the Jets, Watson's playing his career out there. It's just a fact. He's going to play for another 10 years in the Jet uniform. It's just a fact. So if you have the possibility for that, even if you have to give up draft capital, like you said, the Jets aren't in a horrible spot. They don't have New Orleans Saints cap money. They're not negative 95 million in the cap. They're only positive 95 million in the cap. So you have
like positive 120 something million in the cap, dude.
So you still have options to build the roster.
Yeah, the Jamal Adams trade was the best thing to happen to us.
And realistically, besides edge rushers, what do you need at linebackers? You guys always find the answer. You guys could take somebody undrafted.
They need corner.
And make them
they
work.
need corner.
You need
110%.
You need corners, and you need an edge rusher.
We need 2 edge rushers, just to be fair.
Yeah, but the point is, and look, you already have Denzel Mims. You have Crowder for another year. I don't even think you need to waste a pick, a high pick on a receiver right now. You sign, let's say, Allen Robinson or Chris Godwin, and you don't even have to draft a high receiver. You could use it for edge rusher in the 2nd round or 3rd round. Or
Allen Robinson's going to want like 20 mil a year.
That's fine.
I don't know if I give it to him. I think I'd rather sign Joe Thuney.
Yeah, or like Kenny Galladay, who's going to be cheaper.
No, it doesn't have to be Allen Robinson. The point is, I
would sign Robinson over Galladay, even if it's like $3 million difference, because Galladay's always injured. As much
That's
as
true.
The point is, you put people around Watson. You still have the option.
Jets can still do that. There's different. Yeah. I'm all. You guys know I'm all in now. Like I wasn't trying to sell myself into it because I didn't think it was a possibility a few weeks ago. But it just seems like Watson's completely done, and it's only a matter of time until like the trade request becomes official.
My thing is, you're saying you'll be done with Joe Douglas if he keeps Sam Darnold.
Like I'll lose confidence. Like how could you not? Like what?
Yeah, if he keeps Darnold. I think I'm going to lose confidence if he doesn't trade for Watson. The Jets are in the driver's seat.
I can't say that because if we got to see, let's see what Watson gets traded for first. That's going to be the better question because I was telling Markello about this. Like I am concerned. Again, an idiot like Dan Snyder might come into the equation, and Washington just made the playoffs this year. They're like, oh my God, we have a great future. We have a really good roster, really good defense. Let's trade 5 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Then you lose me. Then I'm done. I'll hang up the phone and I'm done.
Look, that's different. If he doesn't end up going to the Jets because you see 5 first-round picks for Washington, that's different.
Or what happens if Houston just says like, because we're dealing with McNair here and it's stupid. Like the Houston Texans are a dysfunctional, crazy organization, right? They traded Hopkins away for a second-round pick. What happens if they just don't want Watson in the AFC anymore? They're like, okay, we're done with this.
Which is a possibility.
It's a huge possibility, which no one's talking about.
Again, which is why teams like Washington make sense, or Chicago,
Carolina, Chicago. That's why I can't.
I don't even say Carolina, bro. Don't even put that in my head.
It's a possibility because they're going to get a quarterback this offseason. We just don't know whether it's the draft. I think Watson is a really dark horse candidate to Carolina. I haven't seen really any of the media mentioning it because right now it's all Jets and Dolphins. And if you actually look at all the Deshaun Watson posts, it's pretty funny. Every single fan base is in there with an edit. It's like I see Washington jerseys with Watson, Jets, Bears, Dolphins. It's all hysterical in there. So, but we'll leave it at that. We talked a lot about Deshaun Watson, so we're going to be talking a lot about him because it's not going to happen for like weeks and weeks and weeks. So,
it'll be a weekly topic.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us and enjoy the games this weekend.
Happy conference.
See you guys next week.